I've always said Drunkcast Live is a solution-oriented podcast.
That's true.
Proactive, not reactive.
That's how it is. Here we go. Hype. Once upon a groove on an old soul tune. I watch the pin move to shake the breakthroughs. Who makes moves, maneuver in the right direction? The rest of you get left behind and messed up in the session. I'm not trying to make a difference. Maybe some pocket change.
Hey, welcome to Drunkcast Live.
Yeah.
Episode 160. Shit. Fuck, I always forget the fucking. This is 168. I'm Travis.
Travis.
Dylan's not here. He just got back from Vegas. He was too tired to come out. He knew that was going to happen, so I had all the gear. He just knew. But once you go to Vegas, you come back a broken man. And anyone can do the podcast. But Ben is going to be my co-host.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, he's better mood this time. Not sick as he was last time.
I'm not as sick, yeah.
Not as sick.
I'm not any sick, actually.
Still full and sore, but if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you do.
But we're a podcast that takes place in bars and restaurants all over Austin, Texas, and sometimes the world. I like to have a drink and talk about things over the week with some interesting people. I'm lucky to have Patrick. God damn it, my brain just fucking flipped out. I always want to say Sirois.
Sirois, yep.
Say fucking good. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
I have there's a worm in my head that just flips words back and forth.
Yeah. Oh man.
And so I know names are really fucking important to me.
Yeah.
So, important enough to forget.
Yeah.
So.
I have the same fucking worm that it's important enough that you beat yourself up over it when you do. Inevitably forget. I have a similar worm in my head that it makes it hard for me to vocalize the correct choice of 50-50 choices. So it's like, hey, do we take a left or a right here? I'll know we take a fucking left, and I'll say right.
Green?
Yeah, green. And I'm just like, damn it. And it's real bad, especially if I've been, smoking weed. It just intensifies it.
Sure.
Yeah, and
that's kind of odd, though. Isn't that atypical for weed smokers? To not remember what they were supposed to do, or to go the wrong direction, or
it's strange. Usually we have all our ducks in a row, and then there's a few bad eggs like myself who just fucking
screw up this. You're a statistic.
You caused all those Pauly Shore movies.
Yeah,
that's you. That's your fault.
Yeah, I was little stoned ass 6-year-old pets. They're like, this giggling fucking idiot of a toddler. We need to make him a stupid fucking movie about son-in-laws.
Right.
Yeah, he's wearing chaps. This is awesome. Patrick is a stand-up comedian. You are currently employed at a place we can't talk about. But are you still doing stand-up?
Oh yeah.
I see you're still with Vanilla Presley.
Yeah.
I saw you do. Well, man, I actually only see Vanilla Presley more than I see you online now.
Dude, that's the fucking truth, man. I've been noticing that. Like, I'm on stage all the time, but I fucking am doing Vanilla Presley, which I don't mind, but it is weird. I never thought that would take a turn like that.
That would be what you. Yeah.
And like it's hip hop, but it's also comedy, and we don't play where you would normally see music perform anyways. 9 times out of 10 we're playing at comedy shows.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm still going and doing all these fucking shows. I'm doing comedy, but I'm not doing myself doing comedy as much
your
anymore.
Specific brand of stand-up.
Yeah. And like it's it does kind of suck, and I have to like sometimes make it a point like, hey, go do a damn open mic. Try to get booked on a showcase is just you. Everybody just wants Vanilla Presley. They don't want Presley.
Ain't bad. I mean, once the Vanilla Presley movie comes out, you can go and do your Kung Fu Pandas or your whatever Jack Black did after Tenacious D.
Yeah, it'll be it'll be like, well, actually that wouldn't be musical, but it'd be like when Joey from Friends did Ed, the baseball player. I want to go do my baseball playing monkey.
So what's Vanilla Presley for people who are uninitiated?
Vanilla Presley is a
focus on them instead of you, of course.
Vanilla Presley is a multi-platinum Grammy award-winning hip-hop super duo from Austin, Texas.
It's you and Drake then?
Yeah, it's me and Drake. Cool. Me and Drake, and we just we kick out a lot of the jams. I kind of have to guide him a little bit. I'm like, look, this is what music's supposed to sound like.
You should call him on his cell phone more often. He wrote a whole song about it.
Yeah, he was really tore up and gutted the guy. But you know what? Sometimes like if I know it's going to affect him, I withhold because I'd rather be feared than loved. So
yeah,
that's nice.
But, you're a power top.
Yeah. And then somewhere along the lines, I said, you know what? Fuck it. Drake's out of the group, and I signed Lane Crarup. So
cool.
That was me and the comic Lane Crarup. We do comedic rap. Ideally, in my own mind and heart and ears, I like to think we are good at rap, and I think that's what separates us from like Lonely Island is funny as shit, but like they kind of the joke is that they don't rap.
Sure.
Yeah,
they're still like the Beastie Boys doo-doo rhymes.
Yeah, exactly. And like we fucking we both know how to actually write rap and fucking perform it and write it.
Yeah.
And I make most of our beats. We got another friend of mine working with us now, and then but like also we know how to write jokes. We're both stand up, so it's like we like to think we're doing a pretty good brand of hip hop comedy. That
sure.
That gosh dang it, we just want people to check it out.
Do you find like comparing Lonely Island then to your product? Like, do you ever try to tone down the complexity, or do you just like want to stay as honest, as sincere as possible?
Yeah, no, we definitely ran into that at first because I like Lane's always like freestyle and stuff, but I used to actually like write and record rap before I started doing comedy, and even kind of while I did for a little bit, and so like I like that whole like getting complex and making all that like building up the rhyme and just doing all sorts of crazy shit with it, and we found out pretty early on that like that doesn't always translate with comedy. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have something where you're going like certain beats we can't use, like because I was like, oh, I made this beat, it was just this banging ass, like hell yeah, this is awesome. When we started trying to write songs to it, it just didn't carry jokes that well, and it was like, this beat sounds way too raw, so we definitely learned that as we stopped doing like anything where like what we're doing, where the point of what we're doing is just the verbal complexity, then I'll scrap that. Like if there's not a fucking like a joke or a punchline carrying the weighting the word, don't say it then, so we kind of do that, and we end up having some very, very strangely technical conversations about like farts and blowjobs and where they apply and certain things. Like, well, I think because the blowjob is essentially a reveal, and so we want the audience to get drawn in from these first three lines, and then we hit them with the punch, and we have like the board out. It's pretty cool, man. It's like that, and what was that other thing I was proud of that I said earlier? The only good thing I did. No, fuck, I can't even remember. Those are the two good things I'm proud of. Vanilla Presley and that thing I forgot. So
I forgot it too.
Yeah,
so.
Let's be honest, it wasn't that good.
So what do you think of like well, I guess one of the more recent like complex, not even complex, but like not in comparison, but not dissimilar to the Lonely Island is Little Dicky. Little Dicky, latest album came out. He got a really big thing, and he was like, he's definitely I think on the other like the club side of rap. Which some people would say is like how rap is falling apart. If you're Travis, but what do you think about like? Is that itself the baseline or like the watermark for how complex you can get, or like because like at the end of that album, if you've listened to it, at the end of the album, I've talked to Ben about this before. It's frustrating because he goes off on a monologue about how this is going to be the springboard of his serious rap career.
Yeah,
but he's still singing about when he's 95, he just wants a blowjob, and they're both gonna die because it's the last time they'll have sex. Yeah. So like, is that like can you really reconcile those two things?
I guess it really it really lies, I guess, in the person listening to it, like what they're looking for at that moment when they're listening to a record, like what they want to feel and hear. If they want to view it as strictly a comedy album, then that's one thing they can appreciate it. But I know, like, I remember as a kid, I was a fucking little weird ass kid who would like listen to Weird Al on the jam. Like I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna throw this on while I'm cleaning my room and shit. Yeah. So it's like it goes, but I guess those were like the other beats too. But he had some original stuff. But like, I don't know, like with Little Dicky, like I like him a lot. I think he's funny as shit. And when I hear his stuff, I don't think comedy rap. I think funny rap, kind of like Eminem is like when especially early Eminem. It was like funny rap. It was stuff that was like actually like, oh, that's funny, but he's also rapping.
Yeah, I think. Sorry to interrupt. I think with Little Dicky, I was introduced to it with Save That Money and Let Me Freak. And that's what I expected out of it. And so his more serious songs on that album, I'm like, next. I mean, I've listened to them.
Sure.
I kind of want more of that. That's what got me interested in him. Yeah. The funny stuff.
Well, and my favorite one on the album is probably not that popular. It's about a Tinder date that went wrong, essentially, where he's rapping with, really they're just talking to each other about when he realizes when they start talking about religion, they're like, this Tinder date should have just ended at definitely Like I like.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one.
I like the way it was, and I like how clever it is, but it definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
It definitely wasn't like a. It's not like it fell off the side. Well, I mean, it didn't really match the rest of the album.
No, it didn't.
Yeah. It is just funny. Like everything is just content now. Like if you watch. Like if you're making if Little Dicky makes a video that's hilarious to watch and is also like you can still listen to the song in it, and then like, but it's also fun. It's like what I don't know. It's weird. It's like it's half music, half comedy. It's just something to fucking kill a few minutes. It's kind of all turning towards that.
Well, there was the other side of it too. Like, are you familiar with the nerdcore rap?
Yeah,
nerdcore artist who I guess like the grandfather of this, the great grandfather is supposed to be not MC Frontalot. No, the one before that is Stephen Hawking, MC Hawking.
Oh, MC Hawking.
MC Hawking was like I guess the great grandfather or whatever. Yeah. And then Frontalot's the first one to really try to push it.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, those people who were doing that activity, even though the majority of the quality of what they were saying was humorous, they started getting upset that people were calling it comedy rap.
Yeah,
like they wanted to be nerdcore and not comedy. But
well, it's funny about Frontalot. I think he got big when Penny Arcade mentioned them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what really blew him up. Was they mentioned
he wrote a song about Penny
Yellow
Arcade.
Laser Beams.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
well, they linked Yellow Laser Beams. That went crazy, and then he did eventually write a Penny Arcade theme.
And that song is about meeting a girl at a Star Wars convention, and she's the hottest girl there, and the one in Frontalot's like, oh, you want to do stuff with me, and she's like, yeah, I want you to drink my urine.
Yeah,
and but there's not really a way you can come back from that and say like, well, now I'm trying to be a legitimate nerdcore artist, or
I guess,
or can you?
But if you think about it, like all rap is like kind of comedy rap a little bit. Like some of my favorite rappers are all funny as shit. Like I have lines that I'm like, oh, that's it's clever, but it's also like there's a lot of like very funny parts. Like I love Ludacris, and like Ludacris actually would make you laugh. Like oh, that's
shit.
Yeah, it's fucking funny what he just said. So it's all kind of comedy rap, really. I mean, obviously, then like rappers have songs where they ain't joking no more. You know what I'm saying? Where and like there's that, and I guess that's where it would be. It's like is just do whatever it is you do, and if the song has comedic effect, then by all means. But if you want to make songs about other topics, then it's not comedy rap. Then it's just you rapping. So I don't know. It's very weird, but I do like. Then I think about it, like what draws you to a lot of MCs is like I'm like, oh, dude, he said this. That's funny. That's funny as shit. So like, and they're just regular. They don't think they're doing comedy rap. They're just saying clever shit. And,
like I'd say Lil Wayne's pretty fucking hilarious, actually. Yeah. I mean, like in the sense of having, that's not necessarily for like our good friend Adam, who's like really especially into the Canadian hip hop scene, which is like still in the 80s. And then in the 80s, and was still one of my favorite forms of hip hop because they were trying to be really clever. That was back when Will Smith was cool. But he can't listen to Lil Wayne because he can't hear the punchlines, and the punchlines that doesn't make Lil Wayne a comedy rapper. But it's just being able to bring that metaphor to a close and say like, well, I was just talking about sperm the whole time. Oh shit, he's talking about sperm. That's fucking hilarious.
I remember when that
sperm is funny. Laugh daily.
When that Tupac song was out, where it was me and my girlfriend, and I just remember like one of my friends who were like in 6th grade was being like, "Do y'all know this song is about a gun?" And he's like singing about a girl, and like it's a metaphor for a gun, and that was my first look into songwriting. I was like, oh, okay, he's saying something different with that.
Oh well. Google metaphor.
I like Lil Wayne. I like any rapper that has something that's like clever. Like, cause I rap myself, so I know when I put together something nice, and I'm like, oh, that's fucking awesome. But I know that if that person has that same thought behind what they're doing and they make something good, I love the shit out of those guys. Like people, that's why I loved, like, I was a big fan of old Swishahouse stuff because it was all 100% punchlines. And it was almost to the point where like among some of like the more like middling rappers in that scene, it was like, the checklist of things you would talk about. I was like rims, swangers, purple drink, and shit like that. But then like they would just, even though I knew it was like, like something like, it would be like, got the bump up in my trunk, and I know he's gonna say blunt next, but he says blunt next, and I'm still just like, like, all right. But then
Swishahouse, that was like Mike Jones. And
Mike Jones, right? Slim Thug, Paul Wall, Chameleon out of Houston. And but then you had like the really above average guys in that scene, like Paul Wall, Chameleon, Pip C, Bun B, and Devin the Dude, and you got those guys who like they took that shit like Paul Wall, Chameleon have a CD called Get Your Mind Correct, and it's like all that like early 2000s, just like boastful ass Texas hip hop, and it's just like it's like the Bible of it. They just say like the lines about their shoes and their rims and everything are just like it's all on point. It's just like all of it. Like I got Sprewell rims on my lawnmower. I don't need to be fast. If I slow up, my rims will keep trimming the grass. It's just shit like if the rims get any bigger under the coupe, then I'm gonna have to jump out the coupe with the parachute. Like just like little things like that. They would have some fucking funny ones, man. So I was a big fan of that CD. That was one of my Desert Island CDs from back then. It was that.
Yeah.
When I was in a band at the time, too, I was in a hardcore band. I remember my 2 CDs were The Opposite of December by fucking Poison the Well and Get Your Mind Correct by Paul Wonka Millionaire.
Cool.
Very diametrically opposed CDs, but both really, really good.
What is it now? What's your Desert Island CD now? Or CD?
My Desert Island shit would be podcasts, man. I'm such a fucking lame dude now. I don't even listen to music anymore, man. I just started listening to podcasts, and it just I'll still bump music like every now and then if I want to hear like some new rap shit.
Man, I can't imagine the rest of my life, my career on a desert island listening to Bill Burr, for example.
But that's true. I just listen to fucking to podcasts now, and like the other day I had like my homeboy Jared Holly. He's a comic in town. He's a fucking madman, and we were driving around. He's in my car, and he wants to bump fucking ignorant ass like trap rap, which I'm all for. And so he plugs it in. He plugs it. My auxiliary cable sucks for music, but it works well for podcasts. And so we're driving, and Jared is just he can be temperamental sometimes. I don't know if you've ever met or seen this guy online or whatever. He's an animal. I love the death, but he's a crazy motherfucker. And like, so we're driving, and he was like, "What motherfucker? This fucking thing don't fucking work." And he opens my door and throws my auxiliary cable out into it while we're driving, and I stopped the car. I was like, "What the hell, man?" And he's like, "This shit don't even work." And I looked at him and sincerely said it, and I meant it. I said, "It works good for podcasts."
You walk right back there.
And I think he felt bad for me, so he got out and went and grabbed it.
Yeah.
How am I going to listen to Criminal or Serial or This American Life?
Yeah. I got Last Podcast on the Left coming up. I got to be here every Monday and Thursday for Bill Burr. Cracked is every Monday. I'm a busy guy.
How's the Cracked podcast?
I love the Cracked podcast. It's fucking.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it's like if you like their content, like the edutainment kind of stuff they did, and like David Wong, Jason Pargin, like him and the Jack O'Brien, they get like real deep into some stuff, and they're smart guys. They talk about really, really cool concepts. Can't recommend it enough.
Cool.
Except the live episodes. The live episodes are kind of weak. I'm going on record saying it. I love you guys. I'm cracked, but the live episode's kind of weak. Not really feeling them.
Take them out.
Yeah. Shots fired.
Yeah. They're going to make sure that cable stops working totally now.
Won't listen to us.
Yeah.
Won't listen to anything. I don't know. I really don't know how to do a live podcast thing. I would really like to try it out sometime.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine, like, I'm sure it's fucking difficult as shit.
I've been to shows where I've been on them before. It's kind of like this, but there's a crowd.
Because like Paul, what's his name? Oh, I'll figure that out after the break. We need to take our first break. We'll come back after this.
Cool.
Wipe the dust off the canvas and wait till we break.
It doesn't make sense that a person who works 40 hours a week cannot afford a flashlight.
The night's new, what a feeling, what a nice mood. A bam, boom, rock, we're here to rock you. It's like, damn, what a vibe, woo. I got my own.
Welcome back to the show, everybody.
Come back.
Segment 2.
Segment 2.
Something on with Ben.
Segment 2.
Patrick Sirois. We got some more drinks, and we're hanging out. What do you on the air? What are you drinking?
I'm drinking whiskey and soda water.
Whiskey soda.
Yeah, I just started drinking this more. I drink it before, but like I've been ordering it more like frequently.
Sure.
And I've said whiskey and soda, and like almost like 60-40% of the time they'll bring me a whiskey and Coke. So like I just got into the habit of saying whiskey and soda water and sounded like a fucking gold prospector or some shit. Like, yeah,
what a weird region for that to happen. Like I can understand it. Like if you were, I don't know, in Missouri or you know, whiskey and pop, I guess.
Missouri is a soda place. Everything's
place.
a soda, yeah.
But like, it almost seems like it'd be the reverse, even though it never happens to say whiskey and Coke, and they say, "What kind of Coke do you want?"
Down here, yeah.
That's funny. Whiskey and soda.
Yeah, everything is, in Texas is it's just Coke. Like we got, you got any Cokes? Yeah, what kind? All right, let's see.
Mr. Pibb. Yeah.
That's like some old El Paso shit. Like Mr. Pibb. You're like, what? the fake Dr. Pepper, New York City.
Yeah.
Robot Chicken finally did it justice one time. They had an old El Paso commercial, and the guy goes, "My sauce is from New York City," and they're like, "New York City," and they shot him, and then one of the guys that tasted it, he's like, "That's not actually that bad."
We should stop being so quick with our judgments, right, Earl?
Shoots him. Tell me how to do my judging.
So there was a conversation. I just had Brent Peasley on the show last week. If
Oh,
you're
cool.
familiar.
I fucking love Brent, man.
He's such a sweet dude. It was at the end of the night, though. I was trying to have this conversation about something I heard on the NPRs. If you remember if you've been paying attention to politics for some amount of time, you've probably seen a political hopeful, especially a presidential hopeful, eat a hot dog or something at a state fair. And That's so weird to me still. Like, that's still something that keeps people believing that they, I don't know, eat food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just like me. He doesn't get like nutritional supplements or nothing.
Yeah. He wants bread and he wants some kind of meat.
Yeah. Indiscriminate on the meat. Yeah.
A long cylindrical.
I was reading the thing about how like this political analyst guy, I forget the fuck who he was, but they were talking to him and he was talking about how the problem with the American election process is we're always doing the last election. They're always going on what had worked, and it's seldom right. And that's why like everybody, there was a place back in like in the 2000 election, like in the primaries, somebody went through some place in Iowa, I believe, and fucking ate at this place Pizza Ranch, and they ate at Pizza Ranch, and they won. They won. Continue. That's where they come from. You know?
Free range pizza.
Yeah.
Pizza Ranch.
Well, you don't want to close the gate on a pizza because it'll hop over and never come back.
Remember one of those pizza cooks inhabited that building in Oregon for a month and a half? The Pizza Ranchers. But that was
one of my favorite games.
Yeah.
Pizza Ranchers.
The guy went out there and he won in that cycle, and since then every candidate who's ever gone through there stops at Pizza Ranch and eats pizza because they're like, well, that worked, and now it's a tradition, and there's something like that's like just an example of like how behind they always are. They're always like, oh well, this worked the last time, and it never ever works.
Like Bill Clinton, like Phil Hartman even made fun of this in a sketch at SNL, like Bill Clinton going for a jog and then stopping at McDonald's, you know, and like being around the everyman, but like still having his like cabal of dangerous men with weapons. I was gonna say swords for some reason.
Hey,
I wish the Secret Service had swords. That would be a lot easier to say. Apparently,
could have knocked that fucking bullet out of the sky on that morning in Dallas. You know, if they had some katanas out
like
there,
some wanted shit or something.
Yeah. That's
they were in on it in Dallas.
That's true. That's true.
There's a compelling. I'm not saying it's true. There's a compelling conspiracy theory, but you guys know it's the Cubans? No, fucking no. But there's this theory in that what may have happened is that when James Earl Ray, is James Earl Ray? Is that the Martin Luther King guy? Oswald, Lee Harvey Oswald.
I didn't know if you changed.
Yeah. When Lee Harvey Oswald fired the first shot. They said there's a reason to believe a Secret Service agent was pulling out his gun, and he fucking mistakenly fired his weapon while pulling it out, and it was the shot that killed the president. And the reason that there's like the slight inconsistencies that there are is because at the scene they're like, okay, let's build this narrative. This guy definitely tried to kill the president. This guy accidentally did it. We don't need his life. Taking like a derailment. and they were like, and that's what accounts for like the small inconsistencies that people say. Well, that was the goddamn aliens and the Freemasons and shit. It was actually them on the ground at the moment it happened, trying to save this guy's life, basically.
So it's interesting because that's a conspiracy theory that ignores the first rule of a conspiracy theory, which is ignore Occam's razor.
Yeah.
Because that literally could be the easiest way out to say like it was a mistake.
I don't know. Was the supposed Secret Service guy behind him?
I believe.
You have to be.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're pulling a gun.
Who was driving? It was Jackie O on the right side.
Yeah.
You can see his head open up to the back.
Back to the left, sir.
Yeah.
So.
And then.
Has Oliver Stone taught us nothing?
We'll go to the tape. I mean, not on this show right now, but.
Yeah. I've played JFK Reloaded, so I know everything about it.
Well, I actually appreciate that because I'd rather conspiracy theorists finally open up to the ability to know that we're all a bunch of idiot monkeys.
Yeah.
And that anything can go wrong.
Yeah. Well, they talk about like the inconsistencies in the 9/11 report. What really was they were trying to cover up their response to the real terrorist attack.
Yeah.
Their response basically opened up the curtain on all sorts of mismanagement and ineffective policies and things they were doing wrong. Yeah. And so they didn't want that to come out. So that is where you find these like inconsistencies in the report. It's to cover up what happened afterwards, like their response and them not getting in trouble.
Response, right?
Yeah. And this was a cracked episode that I learned. It was like conspiracy theories that actually make sense.
Yeah.
And that was one of them. It was interesting.
It was the 9/11 papers. Someone realized the 9/11 papers would be too difficult to read for the normal person. So there's a comic book out there. That's how I learned about the 9/11 papers, and I read through it. And not a conspiracy theory as much as what they were seeing from that information was that the FBI had information, the CIA had information, and they were like warring fraternities at this big college of America, and they they didn't want to share that information until something went wrong. So yeah, maybe some portion of like everyone saying, "Whoops!"
Yeah,
you know, a French horn blows. I look at the camera, and they all go, "Oh no!" You know.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to think. To tickle the old brain.
Well, like Pizza Ranch. Like I didn't know Pizza Ranch because that's the concept in this whole not article, but this thing on NPR was that a hot dog is the most American thing that we've made so far. Everything else is taken from something else, but even like a hot dog really is like a German bratwurst between two pieces of bread that then was eventually joined.
Yeah.
And the concept of like, hey, so what? I mean, like everyone going to Pizza Ranch, for example, is not unlike a football player who's like, no, I have to wear this one sock.
Yeah.
And that's not how politics should work.
No, but I think it's just like anything that we as humans create is going to get infected with that because that's how we fucking think. Like anything that we
wouldn't be important.
Any of our institutions, they're all created by us, so it's like they're going to reflect our flaws. Like, and that's the sad, hopeless part of the podcast. It's like we can literally never change anything. So
that's fun. I was bringing up the puff piece about food and presidents and hoping not to get sad, but still always comes back to getting sad.
Yeah. I wonder if there's like an incumbent president who just knows he's going to win by a landslide. He's just like, all he thinks about for election season is like, all them hot dogs, baby. Oh, we're gonna go to Pizza Ranch. Yeah. I get to go bowl in Iowa. That's gonna be pretty fun. It's just fun for him. He's like, hell yeah, I know I'm gonna win. I'm running against a fucking, a weirdo.
I want to see a chart on the times a president has eaten, or presidential hopeful has eaten a hot dog with his sleeves rolled up versus with a full suit on.
Oh, sure.
It's important to me.
If you're eating a hot dog in a suit, you're a fucking madman. Like I don't trust you at that point.
Right.
Yeah. You know that when they want to speak to the everyman.
Yeah, they roll the sleeves.
They get that. They get.
Well, you have to do it while you're talking to them.
Yeah,
that's the most important thing.
It helps.
Yeah. Have a hard hat on.
Yeah.
Because I remember when it was Romney and Obama.
Yeah.
There's a lot of study about how far up they rolled their sleeves.
Yeah.
Romney went a little too high. where Barack had a lower, looser cuff. Not as stiff.
He just would say, you got to show off the guns, though, man. Sun's out, guns out, baby. Like, roll up,
Romney also wore mom pants. So.
Yeah.
But I
remember when
lost my vote.
But
Obama did too, I thought too.
Obama had the khaki blazer. Did like the press conference in the khaki blazer with the red tie. And everybody's like, what the fuck?
Whose uncle is this? What is
this?
Was it khaki or corduroy?
I think it was like a light khaki. It was like
I'd wear that.
Yeah.
He wore the corduroy when he was teaching. Before he was president,
with the leather wrist pads, wrist pads, elbow pads,
just in case.
Yeah. What the fuck is that? Like, I like to think that everything in fashion has like a practical purpose that we just like dumb down.
I actually knew that at some point. I can't remember now.
And it has to do with like chalk dust or some shit like that. Oh yeah, I don't want to. I don't know. This I can just I can wipe chalk off. Maybe who the fuck knows? That's it.
It's all those long hours reading the texts, and you get kind of a little extra padding,
a little softness, and
you got to lean on that.
Shifting from one elbow to the other.
Well, like, cause I always wondered what the fuck ties were for, and like I always
catch your stains when you're eating.
Yeah, and like now it's a fucking it's a goddamn travesty of a stain if it all gets to you. But I guess when they first came out, that's what they were there for, was to catch food so they didn't hit your shirt.
Yeah.
And now
the smallest bib.
Yeah, now it's like if something gets to my tie, I'm like, I'm a little angry if something gets to my tie than my shirt, because like you can't wash a tie. Like, I mean, I guess you can.
I've never tried to. I don't know.
It'll ruin it.
Yeah.
I
assume so.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It'll come out with all like misshapen and shit, like in like the.
What if you put it in that little mesh bag that women use?
I guess maybe
the bra bag.
Yeah, the bra bag.
Well, they have like things for washing hats, like you can buy them at lids, and you keep the fucking hat in the thing.
So this is what we need. This is our $1 million idea. By Drunk Ass Life. Say that out loud. Is to make one of those things.
Little wire frame all the way through the.
Yeah, that goes between. Well, shit, you have to have the right kind of dryer. This dryer is the biggest thing. But like I set it in and
you don't dry
around,
ties, dude. Come on.
I don't know.
You put them. You hang them in
maybe
your sunroom.
Maybe you can wash them. You just can't fucking dry.
Oh God, I didn't have a sunroom.
Jesus. Animals.
How far from the sunroom is your power charger for your Tesla?
That's not that far.
Not that far, yeah.
500 or 600 feet. It's in my second garage. Everyone has a second garage, right?
Your stepmother garage.
Yeah. My in-law garage.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
The stepmother garage. That's just weird.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but
Get
I
in
want
the
it.
garage,
But I
stepmom.
want it.
There's a cot in there.
Yeah. I've been watching a lot
Love you very much, Mom. Quote unquote.
I've been watching a lot of very interesting 4 to 5 minute documentaries about stepmoms on the internet. Good stuff out there.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Learned a lot. Learned a lot.
Like
they're willing
how
to
they
teach.
interact with like service personnel and that kind of thing.
Yeah, things like that, or
Yeah.
like, or they,
Like their pools are broken.
yeah, or they think like if they think their stepdaughter's up to something with her boyfriend. You
Oh,
got
yeah.
to go check on them.
Sure. And educate them if they're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite.
Yeah.
I only watch those documentaries to learn.
Yeah.
People can get hurt if they do it wrong.
Right?
And she has to do it with like a stern, kind of angry tone, a little bit. Like, yeah, that's how you do it, right there.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And daughter is just like, oh, she finally called me a good girl.
Yeah.
Everyone's calling me a good girl. This is so great.
Positive reinforcement, man. It is funny, like when like there's like porn and like like with the way we view porn
We're talking
now.
about porn.
We're talking about porn now?
Oh yeah, that was my
are a
metaphor
naughty
coming
man.
full
I
circle.
thought this was a TED Talks. 5-minute TED Talks.
They're talking about families coming together over travesties.
Yeah, legit coming together.
9/11 documentaries.
Yeah, but they always make sure to include a line of dialogue that accentuates and reinforces the idea that it's not blood relations that are going on.
Oh, yeah, sure. Or blurb somewhere.
Yeah, like I don't know if your father found out that his new wife is with his daughter, like completely non-blood relations here.
Yeah, we're not gross.
Yeah, we're not gross at all because nothing's gross about fucking your stepmom members of your
Yeah,
family.
now take that out of your butt and put it in my mouth.
Said the non-gross lady doing
said the-
non-gross things.
Completely familial in a familial way.
Yeah.
All stepmoms.
Very similar. Like it reminds me of Christmas. Yeah.
Holiday with the family.
I actually love some of those scenes specifically when you have the dialogue is a surprise to everyone. When like only one person knows what he's supposed to say, and he's like, you have to say, "Hey, what are you doing from home?" Or "What are you doing home? You're supposed to be in school because you're my daughter." And she's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm at home because I'm your daughter. Want to fuck?" He's like, "God damn it, professionals, God damn it."
I saw.
Trained.
I think go to Juilliard's
Amateurs.
boarding school
Yeah.
for 25 minutes.
I didn't even watch YouTube this morning.
Phoenix Online and
University of Phoenix fuck school. Just, oh man, probably the most legitimate degree you could get from that school.
Actually, that school is accredited.
It is accredited.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
well.
yeah.
Phoenix?
No, just the porn school.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Yeah, they accredited their way to the top, and they slept their way to accreditation.
Slept, moron.
Yeah, I saw this one video one time, and it starts off. It's the guy and the girl, and then she's just like, she's like, "Honey, I don't know, I don't feel good." He's like this European dude. He's like, "Do you think you might need to talk to a doctor?" And she's like, "Yeah, I think so." And then like the doctor showed up. I was like, "All right, this is where it's gonna go down." And then like it was like taking a long time, so I like fast forward through it like 5 minutes. And there was like
naturally
3 more doctors in the fucking in the thing, and then they were still talking like making medical sex puns. And I like went even further, and I was like, you know what? I don't think anything's ever gonna happen here. They're just gonna like they just like kind of like went into like
It was
went into a
actually,
realm.
you actually watched an episode of House. You didn't know it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh, you want
it was lupus.
Yeah.
I mean, she had lupus. You didn't know.
Yeah.
It's because the chicken's in the backyard.
Yeah.
I just watched that episode, actually.
It's a real episode.
Are you guys familiar with there was a porn? It was just a regular porn, as far as I remember. I don't
there's a
remember.
lot of it out there,
Well, there's a
dude.
lot of porn,
I mean,
but
come on.
this is one of the porns that actually had the saddest epilogue that I've ever seen in a porn. Like literally, it was like, crap. It was like sex happened. There was a moment in time where a condom was not used, and the gentleman finished in some way without being too crude, and then everything's great. And then there was an epilogue just words that said. It said basically that she had to have the baby and she died during birth, and it was like. It's like
That's the thing that makes you delete the porn folder. You have to close that browser and wipe your history. Like,
fuck, did you format everything?
Yeah.
Well, time to start over.
I don't know. I don't know if it's funnier that that exists, or that you thought we might have seen the same one you did? There may be 38 Brazilian porn videos out there
on Brazilian.com.
Yeah, there's more minutes of porn than minutes in time.
In the universe,
yeah. And you thought we might have seen that.
I thought you'd seen it because
I hated
people
it.
made a big deal.
People were making it was blowing up, making waves.
I
out
was asking
there.
because he's the only one on Rotten Tomatoes who actually reviewed the fucking thing. So
It just had one splatted tomato.
Yeah.
they even made a big deal
Wasn't
of it
done yet.
because it was so weird. It was so weird and like
Had to go hold my dog.
Completely different
Instead
thing.
of finish.
Because like I was dating a girl at one point, a Japanese girl. You met her, right, Sayoko?
I did. She gave me Japanese bowls and chopsticks, stick chops.
Yeah, oh, that's true. Yeah, she didn't know how to give gifts at all.
Yeah,
She did. They're sweet. We still have them.
But
She just gave gifts that just enforced negative stereotypes.
They finally started falling apart.
she fall into the stereotype. But there was one moment where we were interested in checking out some things. We went to a place to rent something, and we rented something called The Devil and Mrs. Jones.
Yeah.
Which is a play on The Devil and Mrs. Jones, which is a thing. But it was like,
Devil and Mrs. Jones. That's cool.
The Devil in Mrs. Jones is about a nun who commits suicide, and she's been perfect her entire life. She commits suicide, and then like Saint Peter comes to her and says, "Look, like you have to go to hell because that's Catholicism.
Cardinal
sorry,
sin.
yeah,
Yep.
cardinal sin. But
Rules is
because
rules.
you've been so good for this long, we're willing to give you a whole day of whatever you want to do before you go to hell." And
That's nice of him.
she's like, I don't know what to do. Like, I just like to. I guess I want to see what the rest of sins are like. And it's like the rest of the video is like, of course, really hardcore porn.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's this and that. And it's like it's a 70s movie, so like there's a lot of shit going on. A
lot of hair.
A lot of hair,
A
yeah.
lot of hair going on.
But what happens is after she's finished with all of this, she's basically fucked herself into a frenzy. So when she finally goes to hell, her hell is a single cell room in a prison with one guy who cannot be touched, who every time she tries to touch him screams. Because now she's obsessed. Now she's obsessed with sex. She's nymphomatic, and he can't be touched, and that's her personal hell. And we watched the whole thing through, and after it's finished, I was like, "Holy shit!" Like the philosophical implications of what just happened and what I just watched, and I was like, "Oh, that sucks." And she's like, "You want to have sex?" I was like, "Probably not for a while."
You should have just screamed. Either way.
They would.
Don't touch it.
That movie would never get made today.
Right.
What's crazy is to see that level of writing wasted on a fucking porn. That sounds like that's like.
That's why the epilogue thing was so impressive to me.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It's too crazy.
That'd be like funny if you saw a guy
Who
like
wants that? I mean, who?
The director does. You know?
Well, go make a real movie then. Sorry,
Yeah.
your audience is not looking
Yeah.
to be sad.
Now I want to look
More
up
sad.
all the porn directors who moved on to actually make real movies. I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'll look that up after this.
Yeah.
We'll be back after this.
What? Oh, that.
Dusty breaks, bitters mix, bitter cats split.
I want to see him cry. I don't mind
Sure.
saying that.
Yeah.
Where I'm going on this fortified train, slowly sewing my name on the quilted braids. Wipe the dust off the canvas and wait till we breaks. Like damn, what a vibe! Woo! I got my old soul.
Welcome to the show, everybody.
Yeah.
Segment 3, the Fighting 3.
Fighting 3.
Still hanging with Ben, still hanging with Patrick. Still talking about whatever the hell we're talking about.
Yeah, man, we've been all over the place.
Top Gun. You want to talk about Top Gun?
No, we don't have to.
You sure?
I mean, I'm thinking about it, but we don't have to talk about it.
Was Top Gun a good movie?
Yep.
Was it a good movie?
It's a great
Or
movie.
did you like the movie?
It's a great movie.
It's great on a lot of different levels. It's great on just the fact that it's a good movie, but it also it's been co-opted to say that it represents the gay struggle in America, which I think is fucking a brilliant
There's tons of
interpretation.
great one-liners in it.
Yeah.
There's tons of sweaty dudes in it.
I was inverted.
That
Aside from the sweaty dudes,
that checks 2 of my 3 boxes.
Are there dudes? Yes. Are they sweaty? Okay. We're 2/3 of the way
Put it
there.
on repeat.
bonus
Yeah.
points, volleyballs.
Yeah.
What I'm not trying to watch is a movie with a bunch of dry ass dudes in it. What the fuck that all about?
Yeah. They're not working.
Can I get Can I get some sweat? Can I know that I got some hard working American dudes up there?
Can we imagine they're at least moist?
Yeah.
A little bit? Get them a Sprite? Sprite.
Obey his thirst. Get that man a Sprite. Oh, dude, I saw a Sprite commercial for during the 999 thing.
Yeah.
It was because they make trailers for Sprite now. Apparently, like that was one of my very first fucking stand-up jokes was how I went to go watch the movies and they had a Sprite commercial as the trailer, and it was just like you watch it and you're like, that's gonna be really good. But this one was like it was like a goddamn rock star sushi chef, and he's like cutting up all the sushi. I guess he's actually does that as a famous person in that circle, and he's like talking to his fucking crowd. He's like, we're the new generation. We enjoy new tastes. And it was like everybody's drinking Sprite. It was fucking weird.
That's really weird.
It's really weird. No one drinks Sprite with sushi.
Yeah, nobody drinks fucking Sprite. Let's just get down to the nuts and bolts, man.
Well, Mormons, right?
Yeah.
Well, sure.
Do they drink Sprite? Is Sprite the one that has no caffeine?
Yeah, no caffeine.
Yeah. That's the Mormon
It's the
drink.
lemon lime and twist.
I'd still say it's still a little too. If I were a Mormon, I wouldn't let my kids drink Sprite. It's still a little too extreme. Like, wow, you're mixing lemons and limes. I'm not sure if that sits right with me.
Right. How about a lemon and lemon drink?
Yeah. With two things that go together.
Yeah.
Susie, how about we or fucking Ezra, whatever the fuck they'll name their daughter.
No, these are progressive Mormons. Susie's pretty good. Yeah.
Progressive Mormons.
I mean, her name is Susanna, but they call her Susan.
They don't let God know that. They let say it at night when God's asleep.
Yeah. I was thinking of
They whisper it.
I was thinking of a joke where you would fucking, you would if you had to tax churches, and I don't know if I'm going to use this, but it'd be funny if how they decided what churches to tax. They just drew one a year and they just draw the name out of a hat, and every now and then, sometimes it's not going to be a good tax. You're going to be like, all right. Presbyterians hand over all that bake sale money. Come on with it. I was like, you draw the Mormons one time and they just try to pay you in magic underwear and space dollars.
Sure. Sure.
That'll be very valuable when I get my own planet.
Mormons are a huge company, though. They are a.
Isn't it the Expanse universe, the sci-fi universe, the Expanse? Mormons are the only religion left.
I don't know.
I don't know if you were watching the Expanse or reading the Expanse.
No,
it's apparently a sci-fi
I was
series.
told to, but I haven't yet.
There's a sci-fi experience called the Expanse where it's a super future, and we've obviously been colonizing or whatever. But there's the only religion that's still left is the Mormons, because the one thing the Mormons are great at is expanding into other realms. So it's literally all that's left is these people who are just trying to spread as far as possible. And I like that they kept that. I think it was Mormons. No, I can't remember. Well, I never actually watched it or read it. I only heard it from our friends Chanson.
It's like a Demolition Man. They said the only thing that survived was Taco Bell.
Yeah, sure. It's a fancy restaurant.
In the fast food wars.
Yeah, the fast food wars.
Yeah.
It was on The Simpsons, and he was like, the 80s. He's like, America was still reeling from the Cola Wars.
I can't take it anymore. I didn't set the fire.
Just another dumb joke. I was, trigger warnings. If you're reading an article online, so hey, trigger warnings. I did this at open mic, and I don't know, may or may not ever do it again. But I was like, I was learning what trigger warnings are, and that's I think it's going to help because I was actually sexually molested for the duration of Billy Joel's "We Didn't Start the Fire," so I have a very extensive list of trigger warnings. Pretty much anything that happened in the 20th century, you can't bring it up.
That's pretty good.
It's a really good joke. Yeah. How would you deliver that message if you're really that person, the human? It's all right, look, these are the things you can't talk about in my presence.
You can't talk about JFK. You can't talk about him being blown away. I don't care that Britain had a new queen. It's going to make me cry. Britain's got a new queen. I can still see his face. Oh man!
So the smoke clears, and now I realize how dark of a joke that was.
Yeah, it's dark.
It's good. It's good.
You got to slip it on past.
Sprite trailers for movies. I mean, when we were growing up and we were watching movies, if you got there early, you probably didn't want to get there early because it'd be just a bunch of Coca-Cola propaganda. We're doing quizzes in the movie theater, but it's really Coca-Cola.
It's the most bullshit quiz. It's which actor played Forrest Gump? Tom Hanks or Denzel Washington? You're like, I think it was.
What was Forrest Gump's first name?
You
fucking told me.
Yeah.
The choices are A, Coca-Cola, B, Coca-Cola, C, Forrest, and D, Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. Go buy a Coca-Cola.
It's a popcorn and Coca-Cola.
Y'all remember Forrest Gump and he drank all his Dr. Peppers? What if he drank Coca-Colas? Wouldn't that have been a crazy twist?
There's probably a YouTuber who's like working on that project right now.
I almost drank me about 15 Coca-Colas.
Yeah.
Oh, is that
it's
right?
all garbled though.
Yeah.
15 Coca-Cola.
One time while sitting around bullshitting after a show, me and a couple of the comics were talking about if there's like a Forrest Gump comedian, and it just turned into like replacing Forrest Gump quotes with the word joke. And man, we had too much fun. I was like, sorry for joking at your Black Panther party. It's like, there's all kinds of jokes. You can have black jokes, racist jokes that is sexist, and like, and it just went on. It was like, and then we had we were like, this is a hashtag. We call it Joke a Gump quote. And it's a fun little game to play.
Yeah. Can you replace the word joke in any movie? You usually play the game with the word vagina.
Yeah.
It can be a lot of fun. Like no country for old joke. No joke for old man. I guess vagina still hits a lot harder.
Yeah, I think I like a little like fun practice is looking at somebody's DVD collection and just like keep making sure your mind's still sharp. Like, all right, porn parody titles and everyone, let's do this.
Oh, yeah.
Inside Man, Inside a Man.
There was something that was trending earlier that I was thinking about pulling up, but I decided not to. It's like make movies Bernie, but I was actually showing them to Ben earlier. And they're kind of boring. So
it's like when
Saving Private Ryan's VA benefits was the best one. Yeah.
That's good. When one time they had one, it was boner bands. It was like some trending topic, and like a lot of my friends in Cove aren't on Twitter, and oddly enough, and my friend, like I was telling, I'm like on my phone in his house visiting one day, and I was like, oh, this thing boner bands. So we're like having a blast with it. We're like, fucking four non-dongs, fucking just like all sorts of fun shit. Yeah, and so like we do this for an hour, and then I leave, and I'm like doing some other shit for a couple hours, and Chris texts me back, and he was like, hey, fool, I thought of these three. Go ahead and post these ones. And there's three of them. And I was like, Chris, that was 4 hours ago. This is Twitter.
It's over.
They've moved on. He's like, what? It doesn't like they don't do it for like a couple days. I was like, nope.
No, it's not TV, dude.
Yeah. How long could you talk about boner bands, Chris? He's like, well, obviously a few hours longer than everybody else.
He's in his bathroom. He's like, oh, fuck, this is so good.
I love this one, man.
People on Twitter are gonna love this.
Dude, I got a buddy of mine that's a San Antonio cop, and he's like on Facebook, and he's fucking funny as shit. And like he's talking about he wants to do open mics, and so the thing was, he's like, how do I write a set? I was like, here's what I'll do. Every time you post a joke that I think could be expanded into something more and like actually fill a bit with it, I was like, I'll fucking do the little pointing up emoji, like I'm pointing up at the comment. And so that's the thing that I did, and like he's now compiled them, and I'm like, dude, fucking do it, man. Like he's way too funny. He's a cop too, which is just crazy. Like he's a fucking like straight up like.
They can be funny too.
Yeah. There was a cop, police comedian, and there's a comedian who was a cop in Connecticut. That's a lot of alliteration right there. And there's
those hard K's too.
Yeah.
Always make me laugh.
His name was Mike McKenna. You know Mike McKenna, the comedian cop from Connecticut. Oh man,
I'm already laughing.
Yeah. He was funny.
Yeah. I was actually listening to. There was a thing about the cops here in Austin, Texas. And especially, like, the weirdest thing about the cops here in Austin, Texas, like, I mean, it's hard for me not to know if I'm wrong, because as a white dude, I've only got the cool cops or the funny ones.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell that they probably could be corrupt, but never had to deal. I'm like, when I was younger, when I first moved here, there was definitely situations where they were really funny people. And there was this folklore about one of the cops, that like two dudes got into a fight, cop picked up one of the dudes, put him in the back of the car, and was driving off, and then a block later let the guy out. And the story was like, why are you fighting on 6th Street? And the criminal said, that dude raped my wife. And the cop said, well, go kick his ass. And like, you want to kind of believe that. And so over time, it's like, well, you have the hope that, not to go too deep into whether cops are corrupt or whatever, but the idea, especially downtown, where you think about what they do all the time, and this one guy who was following the cops around and talking to them about it, it's like, they said that really the cops have the easiest time on 6th Street because everyone's in a good mood at 1:30 in the morning or 2:30 in the morning. Like the worst of them, of course, still bubble up, but like it's like more often than not, they're just like, "I'm so sorry, I'm so drunk, sir." And and they're actually kind of taught to be kind of sarcastic.
Yeah.
And, like,
it definitely helps to deflect
punches,
it. Like my dad, when he got out of the military, he became a police officer. And he was a cop for quite some time, and he was a cop on Fort Hood and as well as Nolanville, and but he like through him, and I'll definitely say it. Like, I mean, I don't care. I met a lot of assholes that he worked with. I met a lot of great guys, but I did meet a fair share of assholes, and it gave me kind of a good look into the thing. They're humanized, you know. Like I bump into like my dad's coworkers when I do shows and clean. Like his old coworkers will come up, like I'm a junior. They're like, Pat Sirois, you know, my dad he passed away, you know, in duty, like, in the line of duty. So like he's a big deal up there. You know, they like him. And some of the guys, I remember them from being kids. Like this dude, Officer Beveridge. What's his dope ass fucking name? But he like showed one of my shows at night clean, and he was just like, "Oh, dude, I just didn't know you were gonna be here. I just thought there was a comedy show." He's like, "I didn't know you did comedy." And he hadn't seen me since I was like, 10th grade and stuff. And so that was, and there's like good guys out there. And then like I met through him a lot of sons of bitches, man. And they're like, basically it's just like with any group of people, you know. And like you gotta wonder, like what you have to think though is like, I can go to my job at Chill Dude Enterprises and be a real piece of shit, but at the end of the day, what am I doing? What real effect am I having?
Sure.
It's like it's scary. Like I remember one time,
especially internally too. Like, if you hate your job, you're not doing yourself a favor.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was at a gathering of cops one time, this barbecue. And one of the guys telling a story about how he was dealing with a domestic call. And it was like kind of the hood. Like there's this dude who was like, he's like, that motherfucker, man, he kept throwing his hands in my face, And the way he was describing it did sound crazy. Like he was throwing his hands in your face. And then I'm like, but he was like talking about how that like led to him like, putting the dude on the fucking ground and cuffing him, and it just like escalated the situation. Yeah. And then I was watching, like the cops was on the TV, and like a couple hours later, everybody's still sitting around, and there's this guy who's from the hood, and he's doing that normal talk with your hands shit. He's clapping his hands while he's talking. He's like, yo, this and this. And then the same guy says, see, that's how the motherfucker was in my face the other day with these fucking hand movements and blah 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 blah. And it was just like, in my head, I was like, that dude's just talking. That's how that guy talks. That's a loud, exaggerated way that you'll find people in the hood talking. And that's just, if you can't roll with that punch, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't understand, that's just how you're gonna get spoken to sometimes. Like, and that forces you to escalate a situation. Maybe you should be fucking, handling life insurance claims or some other fucking career.
There's just two sides to that, though. I mean,
sure.
One guy that does that may actually be ready to throw down.
You
have to be ready for the worst.
Yeah, I do understand
that. It's a scary situation.
Yeah,
well, I guess like the big thing was like it was here in town. It was a pool party that went wrong. It was all in the news. There was the one cop who who did the role, a super cop they were calling him. And later on, they talked to him. They asked him about it, and he said he was having a bad day. And I think we talked about that before. Like I don't think necessarily.
Yeah, sorry, you're not allowed to.
Yeah, you're not alled to have a bad day. Like you're still human, but like, what?
Yeah. It's weird. I definitely I heard like a lot of good stories about things that people did. Like I remember one time I heard an officer among a group of officers bragging about how he punched a lady in the face at the club because she was talking shit, and she tried to hit him, and he's like, and he punched her. Jeez. And the way he was telling the story wasn't like, I subdued this woman who was trying to attack me.
Right.
That wasn't the story he was telling. The story he was telling was like, yo guys, I knocked the shit out of this girl. She fell the fuck back. And it was like it's and it's just it sucks. It's just like I said earlier. Like any human institution is going to reflect the worst parts of us and the best parts of us. And so that's an institution with some fucking teeth on it. Yeah, this was the depressing part of the podcast again.
Well, it made me want to bring up the other conversation of something that I heard about recently, and then I'll talk about it off the air. So let's go back to pizza.
Yeah.
Pizza
so
Ranch?
Good.
Oh man, it's got so much stuff on it, and it all tastes good. I just big fan.
What? Where was Pizza Ranch again?
I think I want to say Iowa or some shit.
We'll find out. We should do the show at Pizza Ranch. I mean,
it's booked up.
Yeah,
till
it's only
election
November.
Season's over.
Yeah, they probably got like so much, like they get like people stop by there all the time. They're probably so over it. They're like, we do a podcast Pizza Ranch. Like, fine, I fucking guess. I don't. What's your fascination with this fucking place? I just thought a Pizza Ranch, cool name for a pizza spot. Next thing I know, I got delegates in this motherfucker. Like,
well, it's like the poor people who own the house for Breaking Bad that the whites.
Oh yeah.
Like, please ask people not to throw pizzas on top of the roof.
Yeah. It's
But
becoming
like,
a problem.
we talk about that on the show at some points. Like, if you know that's going to be a problem, try to capitalize on it. Maybe go buy a bunch of hot and readies, and then someone drives by the house and you're like, you want to throw some pizza? Like, it's $7. You get $2 profit.
Yeah,
Spend
right.
$5 on pizza. And like
They should just move the dining room under and then put a hole and just
a sunroom underneath,
fall.
Yeah.
all the free pizza
On
you
Eat
want.
the fucking garage.
Right
Right fucking
there.
shoot. It just drops
Yeah.
right there.
See,
Why
we're
not?
coming up with solutions. We're not just complaining.
I've always said Drunkcast Live is a solution-oriented podcast.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
true.
We're answering the questions that haven't been asked.
Enough drinks and we can solve everything. I think. Yeah.
Oh man, the fucking famous Cheers quote about the slow, weak brain cells, and that's what the ones with the alcohol attacks. And it's like, and that's why you always feel a little smarter after you had a few beers.
It's a Cliff Clavin, right?
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
Cool little fucking fun fact about that. When he came in, he was auditioning for some other role, and he didn't get it. And they went to fucking George Wendt, Norm.
Yeah, Norm. Yeah.
And they were like, well, we got all the plate, like all the characters that we want in the bar full. And he read the script, and he went back and said, you don't have a know-it-all. He's like, and then they were like, you know what? Yeah, actually, there is a guy at every bar that fucking is like, well, actually, blah blah blah. And they like wrote that. They wrote that for him, and I was like,
That's awesome.
I wish I had that set of fucking nuts. Like if I go up to I go to a comedy show and they're just like, we can't book you here, blah blah blah. Like, you know what you don't have? A fat guy who does joke raps and fucking. You don't have the opinion of a straight white male, and that's been heavily misrepresented in
Who does
comedy.
anymore? You know, all out of those.
I do a podcast with a wonderful comedian in town named Karina Magyar. She is a transgender woman, and we started a podcast called What a Date, where we go and we have dates at Whataburger, and we go to every one of them. We took a siesta, and we just got back into it, but we stage them as dates, and we go to each Whataburger in town. And I was thinking of funny.
Do you dress up too?
No, we do one of the episodes. We do plan on going like full dressed out, and we went to
Gotta be the nines.
Yeah. It should be episode number 9. So we're dressed to the nines.
Perfect.
There you go. Boom.
Yeah.
But we fucking we did that, and I was joking. I was like, we should have a thing. It's like a podcast about. A dating and relationship podcast featuring a transgender female comic, and I was like, and also for a little bit of diversity, a straight white male. Like just to really get you the underrepresented opinion in there.
Sure. Not all men, right?
Yeah, not all men. Not us. I'm an ally. Is what I'm referred to.
An ally, a vegan, and a CrossFitter walk into a bar. It was all the same person. Let's take a break, and we'll come back after this.
Wipe the dust off the canvas and wait till we break like
Because now we missed your rap lab.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll come up again.
Okay, good.
my nights do. What I feeling, what a nice mood. A bam, boom, rock. We're here to rock you. It's like, damn, what a vibe. Woo. I got my own.
Welcome to the show, everybody.
Yeah, the
This is
fourth.
segment 4, the Fantastic Four. Todd just took off. Todd was very sweet.
yeah.
Todd's been in his cups for sure.
Yeah, a couple sheets.
So once in a while, we get a phone call on our 412-440-7468. That's 412-440-SHOT. It's our shot line. From people who are interested in the show and want to ask us questions. And then when they ask us questions, I get to play the audio back like
this?
Like this.
It's Matt. So my question is, if you were to nominate anyone to modernize and write a new national anthem, who would it be? Y'all have fun. Love you.
That's a pretty decent question.
You know what? I think to match the egotism that we have in this country, it would have to be Kanye West.
I'm with you, except Katy Perry.
Kanye West, Katy Perry mashup, perhaps.
Maybe.
Ooh, that's sexy.
Juicy J would be another good friend.
Or maybe we go. We show how willing we are to work with other countries, and we get Celine Dion to do it. She can sing.
Celine Dion and
That's a ballad.
Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, he's a great tenor.
He's the best at everything.
Yeah.
Because it's inside his heart.
Yeah.
Heritage or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay incredibly politically. And because I like Bernie so much, I'll ask Killer Mike.
Oh yeah,
To write the next fucking-
All right.
I mean, like if you're going like, it's like, what do you want out of it? Do you want meaning and inspiration? Or do you want something with like some sick fucking chops? Like, cause like, if you just want some like dope ass solos, fucking get like Ingwe Malmsteen or some shit. Just
I mean, you want something semi-uplifting, right?
Yeah.
But majestic sounding,
yeah,
not too over the top.
yeah.
Who would that be?
not for someone-
A real songwriter. Who would that be?
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I think you're quite right. Yeah.
Or Morgan Heap, actually, pretty nice.
Jason Mraz.
Josh Groban.
I don't think he's a writer, though, is he?
I don't know.
I think he just sings pretty songs. And he does.
Yeah.
He just, ugly dude who sings pretty songs.
The band
Melly's
Fun.
in love with him.
Of course, yeah.
You know why Melly's in love with Josh Groban? Let me tell you. I took her to a Josh Groban concert.
Because he reminds her of me.
Yeah, mostly because of that. But also, he's down there on the stage and he's doing his thing, and then he walks off the stage, but the singing is still happening.
Yeah.
And we're sitting up. I bought tickets late because that's something I did. And we're up pretty high.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the spotlight hits us.
Ooh.
And Josh Groban is standing next to her in the aisle.
Yeah.
And he's singing, and he's wearing like a striped pirate shirt or something. I don't know, man.
Sure, naturally, yeah.
And she fell in love with him in seconds because he's singing.
It's just the same reason I love Weird Al, actually.
Yeah,
He did the same thing
very
to me.
similar, very similar to that. So yeah, she's in love with Josh Groban. I'm not gonna lie, I've kind of like half fell in love with him too. He was right there.
He's lovable
He's
guy.
right there.
Actually, Real Big Fish. I would like Real Big Fish to come back as, again, Bernie Sanders official. Is there an actual official presidential band?
I don't think so.
Aside from OK Go. I don't even know if that's a reference or not.
Rage Against the Machine would be dope, but then also, but that would obviously be like it'd be off message a little bit. But
Ben Folds could write something pretty poignant.
Give it to ICP for one. You know, just try.
No, just dude.
I mean,
Dude, no.
the only reason
Start
why.
this segment over. It's bullshit.
Look, the only reason American Idol still thinks is you want the worst first.
yeah.
Give them a chance. Guar, you know.
They should Roseanne. Just have her come back and sing it.
I mean, she did so bad it basically was a rewrite.
We're gonna do this here, this thing.
Yeah, it's time for a toast. We got some shots in front of us. Ben, what do you want to toast tonight?
I want to toast the upcoming election. I hope everyone goes out and votes.
Yeah.
We need people to vote
And not leave the country.
and not leave the country. You're not doing it, just like you didn't do it in 2008 or 2012. So quit putting it on Facebook.
Yeah, go
That's
vote.
dumb.
Brilliant local comic by the name of Jay Whitecotton. I say local, but he tours and shit.
Sure.
But he's based out of Austin. He had a Facebook post. He was like, I think it's be funny when all the people who moved to Canada when Trump gets elected bump into all the people who moved there when Obama got elected.
Yeah.
It was like this whole community of like expatriates in fucking in Canada of just people who left after political elections. And it's like this like completely like at odds fucking community with like libertarians
actual
and
problems,
fucking yeah. It's like
Bill O'Reilly's saying he's going to leave when Bernie Sanders is elected. He's going to move to Ireland. Like
Yeah, where there's a way higher tax rate.
tax,
Socialist.
when Obama was pushing the Affordable Care Act, Jon Stewart did a great thing where he's like, people want to, I'm leaving America, and he was just like, yeah, well, good luck moving to a fucking first world country that doesn't have universal health care.
Well, and there was also like because a co-host Dylan was talking about how he's going to try to leave. He's going to try to go to Canada. But the problem with just moving to Canada is Canada actually they actually prioritize the people who are their expatriates by how they're worth.
Yeah.
That like
You need to prove that you can be used there.
doctors and nurses go first.
Yeah. Same with Australia, actually. You have to prove that
Really?
I mean, you have to prove that you are New Zealand. At least one of them.
So I just sent him a 5-minute clip of my set.
Oh sure. New prime minister.
Make sure to unfriend me from Facebook first. I want a chance. So
This is your weekly reminder too. If you like Bernie Sanders and you're worried about Donald Trump, go ahead and delete all your Bernie Sanders posts on Facebook because when Donald Trump is president, you're the first in the gulag. I've already deleted all my stuff. Go Trump. So Patrick, this is time for you to plug any place you're going to be. Twitter handle. If you have any other on-face things. This episode's going to come out on.
what's Vanilla's website? You can put that on there.
VanillaPresley.com.
No, just Vanilla.
Just Vanilla. VanillaVisa.com. Make sure you have your card number ready to look up how much is left on your gift card.
It does not work in Applebee's.
Oh,
It
man.
doesn't?
No, it doesn't.
What a fucking sorry sack of shit establishment.
That's not.
Yeah, that's why I never buy the vanilla visas.
When I first started working at this pawn shop back in the day, it was like my first good job. My first check was going to be over $1,000, and I never had that before. And I was so excited. And they paid us until your direct deposit hit. They paid you on cards, the Easy Pay card. And I took my girlfriend out at the times at Texas Land and Cattle Restaurant and Clean, and I was like fucking the nice place, and I fucking got like $110 bill.
Yeah.
And I fucking slid them the Easy Pay card, and they came back like, we don't accept these. I was like, God damn it. So she had to pay, and we went to an ATM.
Nothing says love like, can I pay you back later?
Yeah. Nothing says love like a 10:30 p.m. trip to the ATM.
Did you ask her to pay the $3 back?
I did.
Yo, can you get this fee?
When I got coming, when's this episode coming out?
Wednesday?
Thursday.
Good. Well then, hey, future. Tomorrow night, you're gonna want to go out to Spider House. I'm sorry. You're gonna want to go to Kick Butt Coffee on Airport, and we're gonna be having the Kick Butt Comedy Showcase. It's gonna be a big performance from Vanilla Presley. We're doing a long set, and we're fucking gonna have some new songs, and it's gonna be fun. It's $5. I don't know who else is on it, but I assure you they're talented and funny.
That's this Friday?
That's this Friday, the 11th.
Awesome.
And you can find me at PZTX. That's PEEZYTX. And then Vanilla Presley, all things Vanilla Presley. Just go to vanillapresley.com. It has our SoundCloud. We got some songs up. So just check us out.
Rad. Awesome. I'll be there on Friday. I'll be the guy going, what?
Yeah. Do your rap laugh. Oh shit! The voice.
Rap laugh.
That's the voice of the streets, baby.
Solid.
Yeah.
Main streets of Pearland.
That guy's not white. You can tell. You can tell by the laugh.
How are you?
Where are these, please? Yes, please. Ben, thank you so much for helping me run the show.
Thank you for having me. I loved it.
Patrick, thanks so much for hanging out with us.
Hey, thanks for
really
having me,
appreciate it. And if you're listening to the show, you'll want to know more about the show. You can go to facebook.com/drunkcastlive. You can go to twitter.com/drunkcastlive or at drunkcastlive on Twitter. We're at www.drunkcastlive.com. So for
Stop.
We'll stop. You can see some stuff there. You can also go to the iTunes store. You can go to the Zune store. It doesn't exist anymore. You can go to any of those places and actually comment on a thing. If you like the thing, you can actually boost us, especially on iTunes. If you'd like what we would do and want to see or hear more, someday we'll go back on YouTube if people actually watch any of the videos we actually did. We're on the Stitcher store. Apparently, the Stitcher store is Stitcher in general has been pretty positive for us.
The what store?
Stitcher. Yeah, it's just another way to consume as many podcasts as possible. More questions at Drunkcast Live. If you have a question or if you have a comment or whatever, you could also 412-440-7468. It's 412-440-SHOT. It's a shot line. You can text that number or call that number and do some stuff. Anyway, love you guys for hanging out with us.
Hey, love to be here. Every time it's a fucking pleasure, man.
Always. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Lesbian sound, you get him up down. Champion sound, you get him up down. Champion sound, you get him up down. We come to let you know what the deal is.
I guess might as well stay on. That's like the only responsible thing I've done in a couple of years.
You ruined the streak.
Yeah, you give me a few years, I'll make one good decision.
Sure.